All right, Doodle. Your show has begun. I think should have started. It says it started. Your ear still bothering you? Hey, Marilyn. Marilyn's here. Who was there? Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Ryan says hi. Ryan says hi, but ow, ow. Bite me, right? Hey, Jeanette. Jeanette's here. Say. Easy. Hey, Jeanette. We got Marilyn, Ryan, and Jeanette. We have the Rosie Army. God, here I go again. I'm starting this crap again. Hey, everybody. Hope y'all had a good weekend, a good week, a good holiday for those that celebrate Thanksgiving. Sorry, Ryan. Y'all don't have Thanksgiving in the UK. That's a U.S. holiday. So it's a holiday that we all get together and just eat way too much food. Ow! Are you purring while you bite me? She's happy to hurt me, apparently. Yours mad because I cleaned your ears out earlier. I cleaned her ears out earlier because she's gotten to where she scratches on them a lot, which generally means she has wax build up or something. So I clean them out every now and again, and she does not like it. But I think I'm going to have to start clipping her back claws because as I was cleaning out her, I think it was her right ear. Yeah, it was her right ear. As I was cleaning it out, she gets to where she scratches very, very aggressively. And when I was cleaning out her right ear, I noticed she had a cut where she had clawed too hard. So I guess I'm gonna have to start clipping her back claws. How was your day and how did cooking go? Everything was fine. I ate a bunch of food, but everything went fine. The food I ended up making chocolate cake balls, vanilla cake balls, tiramisu, creme brulee, chocolate mousse, stuffed mushrooms, hummus, milk chocolate brownies, and fudge brownies. And I ended up running off and I got everything loaded up to go to my friend's house and ended up leaving the 2 pans of brownies. So yeah. But yeah, we still had plenty of food. And everybody seemed to like everything, so it was a plus. It was a plus. So thinking out of everything, I think everything was a success. I think that they kept all the leftovers, but nobody got into the tiramisu until the next day, so I don't know how that went over. So my next thing is my sister's coming in town this coming weekend, so that's why there most likely won't be an episode next week. But I think what I'm going to cook for her is I'm probably going to make crepes, and I'm actually thinking about doing some type of almost a dessert crepe, but make like a creme brulee crepe or a tiramisu crepe, just a crepe with the filling being tiramisu and creme brulee. So poor brown. Don't worry, Ryan. The poor brownies didn't get completely left out because I started working on those when I got home. And out of everything, out of all the desserts and everything, that's probably my biggest weakness is if somebody puts brownies in front of me, then that's when I just fall apart. Yeah, I'm big on, I love me some brownies. Are you falling asleep? So yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, like a dessert crepe for my sister. Do a breakfast crepe also, but also do some dessert crepes. So, I think actually the brownies from so yeah, exactly. Trust me, I mean, I love making food. I love making food for my friends and everything. But I promise, when I realized I had 2 pans of brownies all to myself, I wasn't crying over it because it's this time of year that I actually kind of kind of throw my diet completely out the window. I kind of let everything go for the holidays because I generally try to eat fairly lean throughout the year. A lot of chicken, a lot of rice for for carbs, for to fuel my workouts and whatnot. But I generally try to eat chicken, a lot of chicken. But around the holidays, I more or less abandon all that and just enjoy the holidays. So I think it was last year. It was actually I think I had left over. I had a pumpkin pie, an apple pie. What else? I had a couple of other desserts left over, and after Christmas and New Year's, and it was right at I decided I was going back on my diet, my regular eating after New Year's. So it was the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve to January 1st, December 31st to January 1st. Right at the stroke of midnight, I threw all of my, after having a toast and ringing in the new year, ringing in 2024, then I threw all the pies and brownies, I just threw it all away. There we go. Get back on track. But I enjoy the holidays. So anyway, enough about that. We're here about Rosie. She's been being extremely bratty. I think I'm kind of spoiling her more and more because she's really gotten to where if I'm home, she almost does not like it if I even leave the room. I mean, she goes to screaming at me. I mean, I can't make breakfast. I can't get any work done without her screaming at me to stop what I'm doing and come back in the room. So yeah. Why are you swishing your tail? What are you upset about? You look like you're about to fall asleep. And I have got to start getting videos up. If y'all noticed, I lost 2 subscribers. So it was a couple of weeks ago I was at 661. Then last week I was at 660, and I haven't even opened up Rosie's channel all week. And when I opened it up to get the stream started today, I noticed I was at 658. So I've got to get some videos up and get bring people in, recruit people to the Rosie army. Miss Rosie has been saying she wasn't quiet right before the stream started. She was screaming at me. She's waiting. Right. She's not waiting civilized. She is waiting. She's lulling me in that false sense of security. She's actually falling asleep. Are you tired, Doodle? You can't be tired. You slept all day. I know you did because I didn't even get up till 9 o'clock. And you were curled up with me. I don't understand why people would unsub. Maybe YouTube found some bots. Yeah, that's true, Ryan. I have had that happen. I've noticed that usually happens sort of right off the bat, like if I gain 30 or 40, say I gain 20 subscribers in a day, then they usually catch the bots pretty quick. So let's say I gain 20 subscribers today, the next day I may only have 16 or 17, say 3 or 4 of them were bots, then they take them away relatively quickly. So that's why I was wondering if some people didn't unsubscribe, because I had been fairly steady on that 660 for a couple of weeks, but it could have been bots. I don't know. I've wondered the same thing. Why unsubscribe? If you don't, if you don't watch the channel, if you don't follow it, this, that, and the other, then just don't go to it. I don't know. I don't know if that changes. Do you get in your suggestions, or does that change your homepage? I've never done it for any channel. Trying to remember if I've done it for. I did it for one channel, but it was because I personally knew the person, and we had a sort of parting of the ways, and I just didn't, I wanted to keep us separate, so I unsubscribed from that channel. But that was, like I said, that was a personal decision. It had nothing to do with, but like channels that I subscribe to, then if I don't watch them, I don't watch them. I don't go back and unsubscribe. But hey, like I said, Jeanette, YouTube is strange. Yeah, there's a lot of strangeness going on with YouTube. There's a lot of channels that they push, and a lot of channels that they seem to throttle, that they seem to slow down their growth. What I find to be bothersome is, back in the day, from what I understand, back in the day, 6, 8, 10 years ago, that there was no threshold for being monetized. If you put videos up, then if ads ran on it, then you shared in the revenue that came in. When people like the Paul brothers or Mr. Beast, when all those started out, from what I understand, there was no threshold. You were just, you could make money right off the bat, and that helped people make money right off the bat and be able to reinvest it into their channel with, better equipment, better editing. They could just put it back into their channel and help their channel grow. Whereas now you have to, just to be able to be offered monetization, you have to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the previous 12 months. And shorts videos, I think they count, but not fully. So it's weird. It's like if your channel is a mix. From what I've learned is, if your channel is a mix of regular videos and shorts, then the shorts count. But let's say it's a 30-second short, it may only count for a few seconds of watch time, not a full 30 seconds. But to be monetized with shorts, you have to have a minimum of 10 million views in the previous 3 months, which is just crazy. So to me, it seems like it's really a concerted effort to almost keep people from getting monetized, because it's created an atmosphere where the people that came along 6, 8, 10 years ago, they almost have their own protected bubble where they're monetized, and people coming up, it's harder and harder for them to join that club, so to speak. It's really irritating. But I guess what can you do? I mean, it's sort of like their house, their rules. So but it is irritating that like I said, it sort of protects all these other creators that have been around for 6 or 8 years, and you know, nobody else can, you don't say nobody else can, but it's almost impossible. A lot of people get discouraged. I know I get discouraged. I know that it seems like, God Almighty, if I had been consistently posting videos, particularly shorts, then I guarantee you I would be at 1,000 subscribers or more by now. And, but I probably wouldn't have the 4,000 watch hours, particularly if they were mostly shorts. I mean, you're talking about getting 10 million views in 90 days. And, I mean, my shorts, I think I've got one video that has gotten like 10,000 views. There's quite a few that have gotten 4,000, 6, but that's over the course of time. I mean, that's a long way from 10 million views in 90 days. And then YouTube runs ads on my videos, but since I'm not monetized, YouTube gets 100% of the revenue. Which is fine. I mean, I don't mind playing by the rules, but it seems like they changed the rule that I'm probably going to end up getting in trouble for saying all this. But it seems like they changed the rules. It's like moving the goalposts. They change the rules as we go, that it just makes it so much harder for people to get monetized. So, I mean, I'm going to keep plugging away at it because I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's not necessarily about the monetization. It's about sharing, a little furball here with everybody. But it would be nice to be able to make money off of it. And like I've talked about before, that'll help. Buy shirts, buy hats, buy this, buy mugs, buy various things. Also, maybe spread the love. Donate to some channels. I know there's a couple of cat channels that I would have loved to have been able to help them out with some medical stuff that their cats needed. I would like to donate, to shelters and things like that. But also at the same time, I'd like to be able to make money with my efforts. So, but no, it's a real pain. It's and then like I said, if they, like I said, since I'm being somewhat critical of YouTube, who knows, this video, I mean, I'm not even monetized, but I can see where this video might get deep, a video similar to this might get demonetized. And also make people aware of, yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it would be nice to make money off of it, but at the same, the biggest thing, get to share her with people, because she is, I mean, she's been a blessing to me. I mean, without going into a lot of my backstory, she's, I've had ups and downs and this, that, and the other, but whether it's up or whether it's down, this little furball right here has been right there with me. So, Marilyn says it's frustrating and demoralizing. It is. It's very frustrating. I mean, for all the effort that goes into videos, especially, that's one reason that I haven't been doing any kind of highly produced videos, because I've done videos before where there was editing and there was this and there was that, and it's really frustrating that, like Marilyn said, that I can spend 6, 8, 10 hours on a video, and knowing that since I'm not monetized, there's other than the joy of sharing it, then there's nothing that's going to come back to me, but our pets are a constant in our lives. That's true. That's true. I'm telling you, there's days that it's just, I'll have days at work where it's just like, things just don't go right, you know, whether it's I find extra issues that need to be dealt with, something that I've got to address with the customer, or I don't have the proper material to do. It's like I just want to get home, you know, have a cup of coffee, make something to eat, and play with Rosie. You know, just watch her bounce around and scream at me. I think she's asleep. No, mostly, almost. Are you asleep, Doodle? She is such a brat. So here's another thing about YouTube that I don't understand. So I know that Ryan, Marilyn, and Jeanette are here, and then I'm here, but it says 3 watching. I mean, I've got a tab open where I'm watching the live stream. No, stop. You're gonna cut your ear. Is that better? Her ear gets to itching, and she gets a little too aggressive at scratching. That's why I say she gets this ear, her right ear, has got a little cut in it from where she was scratching. We love our brats. Yeah, we do. Is that better, Rosie? Yeah, your back claws are gonna get clipped sometime this week, but I'm probably not gonna do it today because I've already cleaned her ears out once. I may end up having to clean them out again. So I'm not gonna traumatize her by messing with her ears and messing with her back feet. No, you love watching her groom herself. She grooms herself. That's what I've said before. I don't have to clean her. I mean, she doesn't stink. She doesn't, it's funny, when I was married, I asked my wife, my then wife, I asked her, I said, did you put perfume on Rosie? And she's like, no, why would I was like, oh, she smells it. And I couldn't figure out what it was, but she smelled like, what's that, it's a perfume powder, it's the, White Diamonds. She smelled like White Diamonds perfume powder. And she was like, no, I didn't put anything, but it was just, Rosie just keeps herself clean. Like I've said before, she's very good at being a cat. She's very proud of herself. She's got a nice, shiny, smooth coat, and I can't remember the last time I bathed her. Fall asleep, Doodle? They are really odorless. Yeah. She is. I mean, you know. And this is also a CH cat that even when a cat goes to their litter box, then they usually stand in the litter box. But Rosie, she kind of, if she doesn't lay down to go potty, then a lot of times she'll fall down, so her body has more contact with the litter box and the litter and things that are in the litter, but she still is clean and doesn't stink. she's a very, very clean cat. Now that's, of course, not all cats, because especially CHs, because some of the CHs that we had before, when we were doing, when when I was with her and we were doing cat rescues, uh, some of them, like Joey, he was a much more severe CH, so he liked to bathe himself, but I mean he just about couldn't walk. He would more or less just drag himself around, but he would still flop over and all this stuff. So him using the litter box, it usually resulted in having to clean Joey a couple times a day. Maybe not a full bath, because that gets to be too much. But yeah, there was a wet washcloth, and cleaning the areas where he had stuff on him, but not this one. And then Dusty, God love him, half the time he wasn't in the litter box because he was blind and CH. So when he would go, particularly when he would go pee, then he would get his front paws in the litter box, and since he was blind, then he would think he was in the litter box, and that's as far as he would go. So he'd have his front paws in the litter box, back feet out of the litter box, and just start peeing. So we had to keep the tray. We had several big kennels, and we lined around the litter box with the trays that go in the bottom of big kennels, and kept towels on it that we would end up throwing away. But that was where he would get halfway in the litter box, then he could pee on the tray, because he didn't know that he was peeing on the floor. We caught, first couple times we caught him, we're like, oh crap, we gotta come up with a solution. But Joey was bad about falling. He liked to sleep in the litter box, which was weird. So yeah, Joey was a constant, having to bathe him. So, but not this one. You look like you're about to fall asleep, dude. You tired? Or Brett? Can I ask the group what they think of these litter robot things? Sure. You ask them what? Litter robots. Talk about like the self-cleaning litter boxes? Is that what you're talking about, Marilyn? I've never heard of them being dangerous. I guess I can see where that would be the case. Right, I just prefer to do it myself, wash it out properly. Yeah, that's true. The friend whose house I went to for Thanksgiving, they've got one of those, the self-cleaning. Now, I don't know how often they empty it and clean the whole thing out or what, but they've just got one cat, and it seems to do it hasn't bothered him as far as the cleaning out, because the one that they've got, there's a delay. So once the cat gets out of the litter box, I don't know if it's 30 seconds or 2 minutes or what, but it doesn't activate right when the cat leaves, because I think that would get a cat's attention, and they, ooh, what is that? And then there would be a lot of potential for them to maybe get their paw caught in the mechanism if they went to play with it, or see what it was, that type of thing. But most cats, once they leave the litter box, they go away from the litter box. They don't spend a lot of time around it. And if it's got a 2-minute delay or something, where once the cat gets out and then the thing starts moving, then it wouldn't get the cat's attention. But I'm like Ryan and Jeanette. I just prefer to do it myself. So, and plus you have to use a special litter. You, from the one that they've got anyway, you can't use regular litter. You have to use a special litter that looks almost like little silicone pebbles. So, and I don't know if those, how safe those are, but like I said, they've got one cat that they've had for, so when did they get him? They got him when he was, or they got him back in, I want to say like 2017, 2018, and it doesn't bother him. I think it's just a bit too far like Jurassic Park, trying to make everything automatic. Yeah, true. Yeah, automation has its place in certain things, but there's a lot of automation I think the world could do without. So, because I can tell you right now, when I clean Rosie's litter box out, or any cat's litter box, you know, sometimes the clumps are big enough to get caught in the scooper, and sometimes there's little bitty pieces that fall through the scooper that I have to, you know, use the edge of the scooper to pick up and throw in the bag. That if you're doing it, if you're using one of those automatic ones, it doesn't have any judgment where it can go, ooh, I missed this piece, or ooh, this piece keeps falling off to the side. I've heard that some of these devices have oh my God, holy crap. Well, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, anything close to that would be completely unacceptable. Wow, that is horrible. You're not going anywhere near one of those things. More fast than it's worth, yeah. Fast. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's horrible. Jeez. Yeah, Rosie will not be going anywhere near one of those. Are you awake? Yeah.
Yep, you're still awake.
I had to put her on the sofa. I think that's why I was recalling, yeah. I had to put her on the sofa right before the show started. She was off roaming around over there by my printer. She was off exploring. I don't know, what do y'all think? Y'all think we need to wake her up with some drugs? I bet I know the outcome on the drug survey. Marilyn said, yep, drugs. You ready to get doped up, Rosie? Get doped up on catnip? Drugs. Drug road. Here we go.
What is it, Dougal? You're just gonna ignore it.
not, come on. That was interesting. Oh, bless you. There's a family of squirrels that lives in the tree out back. And a lot of times they'll jump on the air conditioner, the window unit right there. And one of them just jumped on it and got Rosie's attention. What are you doing, Rosie? Are you not interested in the drugs today? She doesn't seem to be wanting her drugs today. Doodle. Doodle. About your pen? I don't know. Her new favorite toy is an ink pen. Is she feeling okay? Yeah, she's feeling okay. She's probably just being lazy today. I mean, she was purring. She probably just wants to go to sleep. Can we see toe beans? Yep, we'll do toe beans. Oh, boom. Are you sleepy, Rosie? Is she a sleepy doodle? That may be it. She may just be sleepy. You just want to go to sleep, baby? Meow. Meow. What is it, baby? You just sleepy? I think she's just tired. I think her just a sleepy girl. You want to lay down? Yeah, she hadn't been showing any signs. She hadn't been sick or anything. She hadn't been acting funny. No, she's been lazy today up until right before the show started. She was like I said, she was off exploring over there by my printer. So I said perhaps she's not feeling it. They probably, I don't know, maybe not. Like I said, maybe she's just tired. Is that what it is? Meow. force the Rosie to do stuff. You just wanna lay down, baby? Yeah, she seems to be more in chill mode. Mine get lazy in the winter. Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, it is. It's gotten somewhat colder. I mean, for Texas, it's I think it's, I don't know what it is. I can't look at the Weather Channel right now, but I think it's like low 60s or something. So, which for right now, I mean, it's colder than it was last week. Whatever it was last week in the high 80s, something like that. Are you lazy in the winter? The outside, they're doing fine. Sasha's starting to put on her winter coat, so yeah, she's starting to do what she does every year. She gets fat. She puts on a layer of fat, and then her coat really thickens up. So, and then in the summertime she slims down. Cold here in New York City? I would imagine so. A friend of mine that lives in Canada, she sent me some videos this morning of, they got like 4 feet of snow, and I'm like, no thank you, nope, I'll pass. So yeah, I would imagine New York City's a little bit chilly, Maryland. Jeanette says it's cold in Georgia, so. Yeah, see, to me it's cold here, but I hate cold weather. I mean, it's 60, like I said, low 60s, which to me is cold. Ugh. Let's see, what does Ryan say about England? What do we look like in England, Ryan? What is it, baby? It's mild today, but getting cold again next week. Yeah, that's. So I'm a huge fan of the holidays. I'm a huge fan of Christmas particularly. But I despise cold weather. Yes, cold here, but no snow. Yeah, they got 4 feet, something like that. It's just like, God almighty. You know, the last day of November. But I think they got snow before then. I mean, I think they got snow like the middle of November. I mean, I love snow. I don't mind it being cold if there's a lot of snow to go play in, you know, be a big kid. But like here, it just gets cold just for the sake of being cold. She was telling me that they got 4 feet of snow. Was it last night or yesterday or something? You know, sometime, you know, in the course of a day. I've lived here in Houston for 16 years, and I honestly don't think that we have collectively gotten a foot of snow the entire 16 years that I've lived here. As a matter of fact, I'll say we've probably gotten less than 6 inches of snow the entire time I've lived here. The first year I was here, 2008, we got maybe a half an inch, if that. And then there's been 2 or 3 other times that we've gotten, you know, again, a half an inch to an inch. So probably 4 or 5 times in 16 years, it's even snowed here. It usually doesn't snow. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and we would usually get a little snow flurry once a year, but again, it wouldn't be anything more than a couple of inches, and then that was usually it. When I lived in St. Louis, that was a different story. We would usually get a couple of feet every year, which was very strange to me. No fun shoveling snow. Yeah, I had to do that when I lived in St. Louis. When I was a teenager, I had to go out and shovel the sidewalks and all that. That was horrible. And then the snow plows would come by and clear the roads and throw big mountains of snow on the sidewalk. And then there was no shoveling that because it was, like I said, it was mountains and it was packed from being thrown off the road with the plow. I don't mind some snow, but the ice is scary and dangerous. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But now we usually get a good freeze here in Texas once a year. It usually doesn't last more than a day or so. And when I say a good freeze, I'm talking about just something that drops below just below freezing. Like we'll get down in the 20s or something, but nothing like my friend in Canada. They'll get to like -15. It's like, oh crap. Jeanette says, in '93 it was a blizzard to remember. Yes, it was. Yep, me and my girlfriend, we were held up in my apartment in Birmingham during the blizzard of '93. It was awesome. It was great. We had a good time. Yes, snowplows are a mixed blessing. So all right, so in '93, Jeanette, I know that Birmingham, I know that a lot of Alabama got the blizzard of '93. I guess Georgia got it as well? Because like I said, I know Birmingham got it. I know that in '93 we did get 4 feet in Birmingham I think it was like 2 days, something like that. Oh, y'all got it too, okay. Yes, I didn't know how much of the southeast it covered, but yeah, I know that Birmingham got hit pretty hard. Like I said, we got 4 feet in a matter of like 2 days, which was just unheard of. I mean, it crippled the city of Birmingham. It was crazy. I mean, it was nobody knew how to deal with it. I mean, I remember there were local anchors that were stuck at the station. They were pretty much on air 24/7. But so the snow actually fell for 2 or 3 days, but then the snow sat on the ground since Birmingham is not designed to deal with snow. They don't have snow plows. They don't have salt trucks. They don't have this. They don't have that. Y'all got 6 feet. Wow. Yeah, I don't think we got that. We probably had some drifts that were that much, but we didn't get that much, just as a snowfall. But yeah, there was a lot of the everything. Even after it quit snowing, the city was still for probably a week kind of snowed in. Because like I said, they just weren't prepared to deal with it. Because there's no need to deal with it because they don't get that much snow, particularly on a regular basis. But it was, like I said, news anchors, they were the ones that were at the station. They were pretty much stuck there. I can remember Gene Lively going on the air, and he was, I think he was on Channel 13, and I can remember him going on the air, and it was his 3rd or 4th day, and at one point he hadn't even shaved, and it was just, I remember at some point somebody walked into the producer's office with a camera just to get their thoughts, and the producer was like, "This is a bad idea, get out." And that was live on the air. I mean, people's patience was gone. It was getting kind of ugly. So, and it says then single digit after that. So yeah, pretty bad. Yeah. And there was a lot of damage, not just from the snow, but because, well, like for instance, the comedy club. I think I've talked about the comedy club. I used to work there. I worked at the old one and the new one, and the old one is only the old one because it burned down during the blizzard of '93, and one of the reasons that it did burn down was because the fire department, or the firehouse, wasn't very far from the comedy club, but because of the 4 feet of snow that was on the ground, fire department couldn't get to the building to put it out fast enough, and it, like half the building, it was in a strip mall, and about half the mall burned down. before the fire department could get there and get it put out. And then there were a lot of other businesses, a lot of other structures that were like that would receive damage, and the damage would be, what's the word? The damage would be much greater because first responders couldn't get there to deal with it in a timely manner. So, and then that's what prompted Bruce, the owner of the comedy club. He moved from that location on Green Springs Highway in Homewood to where they currently are on Data Drive in Hoover. So, but yeah, that was bad. Blizzard of '93, God almighty, going back a minute, telling my age. So yeah, that was 31 years ago. That's actually March will be 32 years. 32 years ago. Good Lord. That was a long time ago, Doodle. But yeah, me and my girlfriend, we were going to UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham, and we were held up at the apartment. So I think after 3 days, the little convenience store right down the road from us opened up, and everybody from our apartment complex and where I lived at the time in Homewood, Birmingham, right on the line. I think it was actually Homewood, but it had a Birmingham address. It was something weird like that, but it was, there were several apartment complexes right there on Robert Jemison Road. It was, I lived at Skyview Condominiums, then there was Olympia Village, Knoll Crest, and Ski Lodge. So 4 pretty big apartment complexes. There was one little convenience store right down the road. As soon as they opened up, everybody was walking down Robert Jemison Road in the snow to get there, to get whatever, toilet paper or coffee or sodas or, whatever. I mean, it didn't take long. The store was sold out of everything. But yeah, it was nice. It was fun for a minute. But me and her being held up in the apartment, didn't have to go to work, didn't have to go to school, didn't have to do it, just me and her hanging out. It was great. So that's a saying. But see, Maryland, you got I don't know how much snow New York gets, but I mean that's probably not unusual for y'all. I mean, I don't know, 4 feet, 6 feet, I don't know, but I know that when I lived in St. Louis when I was a teenager, this was 83 when I moved up there. I lived there from 83 to 85. So I was 13 when I moved up there, and the first year I was there, like I said, we got almost overnight, we got about 4 feet of snow, and being from Birmingham, the entire city shuts down. If we would get a half an inch, stores would run out of milk and bread and whatnot. Roads were shut down. School was out for, if we got a half an inch of snow, school would be closed for 2 or 3 days. The first year I was there, we got 4 feet of snow, and I would wake up, I'm like, no school, this, that, and the other. My stepdad was like, no, we're prepared for it up here. Go get dressed and you can walk to school. Like, what? So, I mean, literally, the whole, I walked to school in the snow, blah, blah, blah. I did. That was the first time I'd ever had to do that. Because we lived in a little small town right outside of St. Louis, and the school was, it was a town called Sparta, Illinois, about 60 miles southeast of St. Louis. And I think the school was probably, I don't know, mile and a half from where we lived, maybe 2 miles. But we walked anyway. I mean, we walked everywhere back then. We walked. I mean, it was 1983. We'd walk wherever we wanted. It was, so even in the spring, the fall, we still walked to school. We had to walk to, the movie theater was not far from the school. It was like 2 red lights in this little town. But, so we walked everywhere anyway, so it wasn't that big a deal. But then when it snowed 4 feet and we had to walk to school, I was like, what? Huh? What do you mean school's open? There's 4 feet of snow on the ground. Ryan says, I love snow days at school. Go home and warm and play video games. Well, see, back then I didn't hate cold weather, especially when there was 4 feet of snow. I just loved. We'd go outside and play in it. We'd have snowball fights. We'd, snow angels and build snowmen. It was and of course we were kids. We'd stay outside, all day in the freezing but now it's like, oh God. Days that you remember fondly. Oh yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Me too. Always look forward to any snow day. But did y'all have to make them up? Because that was the bad part for us, especially. I don't know if y'all got a lot of snow during the year. If y'all kind of planned on X number of days throughout the year to miss for school, but we didn't. So if we did miss 3 days of school throughout the year for snow, then they would tack those 3 days on at the end of the year. So if collectively over the course of a year we missed a week of school, then when school was supposed to get out, we would have to go for another week to make up those days. That sucked. I don't think we did in Sparta. No, we didn't, because we didn't miss school because of snow. Didn't matter how much it snowed, school was open. I can't remember school ever being closed due to snow up in Illinois. Because if that was the case, the school would be closed half the year. Oh well. Yeah, like Ryan said, days I don't recall if we made them up. Yeah, see, that's why I know in Alabama we did, which sucked. So, but yeah, in Illinois, like I said, right outside of St. Louis, we didn't have any snow days to make up, because I can't. At least the 2 years that I lived there, I would imagine there would be a circumstance where they would get so much snow that they would shut the schools down. But again, in I can't remember if it was the 83, 84, or 84, 85 school year. There was one year we got 4 feet of snow. It was the weirdest thing. I've got 2 stepbrothers, and one of them lived in Sparta with me and my mom and my stepdad. And the year we got the 4 feet of snow, our bedroom was on the 2nd floor, and we took the screens out of our bedroom window and would jump from the 2nd floor window into the snow drifts and then run back in and do it again. We weren't even hitting the ground. It was like landing on a big air mattress. It was great, but we still had to go to school. So I don't think we did. There were so many where the teachers just probably caught up. Okay, so that would make sense. But no, we had to be in school X number of days in Alabama, or at least at the time. I don't know if they changed it, but for a school year, I guess, to be considered a full school year, like I said, we had to be in school X number of days per year. So if we missed school for a week, we'd have to make that up. Sounds like, it was a lot of fun. We actually got to where we couldn't jump out the window because we had packed all the snow down within jumping distance from our window. But my stepdad at the time, he was an over-the-road truck driver, so his flatbed trailer was parked in the driveway, and his flatbed trailer was about, whatever it was, 4.5 feet tall, almost 5 feet tall maybe. But we had that whole flatbed trailer after we packed all the snow down right outside of our window. then we went and we'd just run and jump off of his trailer, cause, 48-foot long trailer that's 9 feet wide. Yeah, we still had plenty of snow to jump off. we were idiots, but we were having a good time. We'd ride our bikes. I remember my dog used to chase cars up and down our street. We lived on South Oak Street in Sparta. And the dog would run up and down, it would just chase cars. And we never really thought about, oh my God, the dog's gonna get run over. We always thought, I think it was the neighbor said, I don't know why she's chasing the cars. What is she gonna do when she catches one? We found out because when there was so much snow and ice on the road, the cars were going much slower. So Tippy didn't have to chase the cars. She would just walk along behind them and actually catch them and just sit there and gnaw on their bumpers as they went by. I remember watching the dog just walk behind cars, chewing on their bumpers. I'm like, and of course this was, 1983, 84. So these were older cars with steel bumpers. So it's not like she was tearing them up or anything, scratching the paint on little plastic bumpers. She was walking along behind cars, gnawing on the bumper. And I'm just sitting there going, what is wrong with you, dog? But like y'all say, God Almighty, y'all got me thinking about my childhood. Can I go back? Because back then I didn't have bills I had to pay. I could ride my bike and go to school. I can remember when I was a kid riding the school bus, and I remember looking out the window on the bus, watching people drive their cars, going to work, going to the store, doing this, doing that, and they're listening to the radio, and they're doing whatever it is, grown people do. And I used to sit there and think to myself, like, man, I can't wait till I grow up and I can do that. I can ride around in a car and I don't have to ride the school bus and blah, blah, blah. I would do anything to trade places with the kids on the school bus now. Oh, y'all want to drive my truck? Y'all have it. I'll ride the school bus and go to school every day with no responsibilities, no bills to pay, no this, no that. That would be great. Again, I'll trade places with them. When we were, at least speaking for myself, I was always in such a rush to grow up that I didn't realize that, that there's a lot to be said for being a kid. I wish I had tried to hold on to that, because I grew up in the 80s, and not to disparage anybody that grew up at another time, but there's something about being I was born in 70, so growing up in the 80s with the 80s music and the 80s movies and the 80s, oh God, some of our haircuts, the big hair, oh my God, the mullets, and our clothes, parachute pants and all that. But then the 80s were great. Sorry, anybody that, not to disparage it, but the 80s were awesome. Ryan says, me too, the responsibilities aren't worth the freedom. Nope. I agree with you, Ryan. God almighty. Might have to break out my 80s playlist. Human League, Flock of Seagulls, Thomas Dolby. Jeanette says she's 5 years older than me. So you remember the 80s. Don't act like you don't remember the 80s, Jeanette. Wish I could have lived with my parents forever. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I guarantee. Well, see, okay, so you're 5 years older than me. So yeah, you were able to. Okay, so yeah, you were able to go out and do clubs and all that stuff right at not quite the peak of the pop techno music, like Flock of Seagulls and all that stuff, but you were able to you were actually hitting the clubs earlier. I don't know what the drinking age was in Georgia back then, but in Alabama it was 19 up until up until like 85, I think, 85 or 86. So yeah, you probably got about 1984, 85 club stories that, because I would have only been 15, but yeah. Yeah, oh, I've got an 80s playlist on my Apple Music it's all Flock of Seagulls and Duran Duran, Thomas Dolby, Thompson Twins, Kaja Goo Goo, all the good, oh yeah. The Maryland say, yeah, I understand, they are both deceased. I miss, oh, I'm sorry, Maryland. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, the 80s were, oh my God. And then the movies, we had again, sorry everybody, we had the best movies. We had the best movies. We have Weird Science, St. Elmo's Fire. We had the Brat Pack. We had, God, there's so many of them. We had, Dirty Dancing, Red Dawn, Back to the Future. We had the first Back to the Future. Duran Duran. Oh my God, my '80s playlist. I'm going to be all. I think it's almost 2 hours of music, and I still add to it. Laura Branigan. Oh, how did I turn my '80s music is the best? Yes, it is. Even when I was married to my ex-wife, her kids, being the oldest, was born was born after the millennium. But even the kids, some of the kids even hated their own music, but would listen to my music. They were big on 80s. One of them in particular was a huge fan of the Eurythmics and Journey. Oh my God, that was another one. Lover Boy, and I'll be willing to bet Mike Reno is probably still wearing that headband. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. I'm going 80s stupid. I have somehow turned my cat's channel, since she's not wanting to participate in her channel today. I have hijacked it and turned it into an 80s channel. I have turned it into let me relive my youth channel. You mind if I borrow your channel for today, Rosie? She doesn't care. Oh my God. The headband. Loverboy. Styx, Foreigner, Journey, Richard Marx, Steve Winwood, Huey Lewis. Oh my God, I could go on. This is great. Mike Reno's he's gonna be 90 years old in a nursing home wearing the headband. Oh my God. And then the clothes. Oh, well, and then we had Cyndi Lauper. So yeah, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, back when Madonna was talented. I saw her in concert. Me and my sister went to see her on her Who's That Girl tour at the Omni in Atlanta back in '87. And my sister saw her on her, before that, on her Like a Virgin tour. And that's another thing. Concerts were a major thing back then. I think that they still are. But I don't know, they were more an event. I mean, it's like I don't see people wearing concert shirts. That was the thing. Every concert I would go to, you always had to get a concert shirt. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Yep. And the movie. Don't forget the movie that they made had Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker. Yep. Yeah. That was awesome. But I can remember, God, the concerts. My very first concert technically was, hold on, the Bee Gees. This was like 77, 78, I think, 77, 78, and my parents went and took me and my two sisters. So it's not that I was all into the Bee Gees or anything, because I was much younger then. But my first concert that I actually went to was me and my sister went to the Oak Mountain Amphitheater in Pelham. We went to see it was the Outfield and the Bangles opened up. It was the Bangles opened up for the Outfield. Yep. And then after that was a lot of metal. Saw Motley Crue twice, Warrant, Cinderella, Slaughter, Kiss, Danger Danger. Then there was just regular and some rock and roll. Eddie Money, Bryan Adams. Who else? I mean, it's just God. There's so many. Marilyn was a big fan of the Bee Gees. Yeah, that was the thing back then. I mean, but I was, like I said, I can remember being at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center with my parents and my sisters for the Bee Gees concert. I can remember being in the upper level with a pair of binoculars, looking down and going, who are these people? Jeanette says she saw Motley Crue twice. I saw them both times. They were at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center. First time was on their Girls tour. Guns N' Roses opened up for them. That was '87, and then I saw them in '89 at the Civic Center. Warrant opened up for them on their Dr. Feelgood tour. Yep. And then I saw David Lee Roth. I saw Poison twice, and it was when they were opening for David Lee Roth, and the reason was they originally didn't have when David Lee Roth was touring with Poison, they didn't have Birmingham on the tour schedule. The closest they were coming to Birmingham was Atlanta, so me and my sister drove to Atlanta to see him, but we got tied up in traffic or something, and we missed David Lee Roth, so we only saw Poison, but then they added Birmingham to the tour, so we went again to see David Lee Roth, and we went ahead and stuck around for Poison again. And to be honest with you, I think Poison was better than David Lee Roth. I won tickets off the radio for, it was 3 bands that had the name White in their name. It was White Line, Great White, and what was the other one? White Snake. It was White Snake was the headliner, and then White Line and Great White opened up for them. Rosie is getting quite a history of music. Oh yeah. She also gets her fill of '80s music, and I still listen to my '80s playlist. Oh yeah. And who else? I saw Def Leppard. Saw Bon Jovi. So who was it opened up for Def Leppard? Def Leppard was Tesla. Opened up for Def Leppard. Bon Jovi. Skid Row opened up for Bon Jovi. I saw Aerosmith on their Permanent Vacation tour in '88, and believe it or not, it was Ziggy Marley opened up for them. God, I can't believe I remember all this. It's like almost 40 years ago. Y'all, I had to go to Chattanooga. Val, hey Val, how about Motley Crue? Saw Motley Crue twice. Or AC? No, I never saw AC/DC. Nope, never did. That would have been a good one. You saw Def Leppard in Florida. Nice. That is awesome. Yeah, Florida. Oh man, I love me some Florida. Welcome to the channel, Val. Yeah, saw Motley Crue twice, saw Def Leppard, and it was on their Hysteria tour, so it was after Rick Allen lost his arm in the car wreck. It was their first tour back, and it was a great show. I mean, all that stuff was great. I remember me and a friend of mine, we tried we were he was so we each, and of course we were only like 17 or 18. I turned 18 the end of '88. So yeah, I was still 17. We had somehow ended up with a bottle of we had each ended up with a pint of Jack Daniels. And I told him, like, dude, they're going to find it if we try to take it in. Well, he insisted that he was going to take his Jack Daniels in to the concert. And of course, he thought he was going to be slick and put it behind his back, and in the small of his back. And of course, he got caught. And they didn't kick us out; they just found it and threw it in the garbage. And of course, mine was still in the car. So, not that I did any drinking or driving, but no, I managed to rescue my Jack Daniels where he lost his. So, yeah. Right, me too, especially as Bon Jovi has retired now, I think. Yeah. I can't believe we've seen the same bands in the same year. I know. That is awesome, Jeanette. Oh my God. And again, every concert, I used to have God Almighty concert shirts from every I mean, you couldn't go to a concert without getting at least a concert shirt. I mean, it was just a thing. So, but no, and would keep you always kept your ticket stubs. I had a box just full of ticket stubs. Oh my God! And to be honest with you, that's probably not even half the concerts that I saw. So Rhode Island. Whew. See, Val, that's cold. Like we talked about before, I'm allergic to cold weather, so more power to you. Jeanette, I never got to see Bon Jovi. It was on their New Jersey tour. Maybe you went to the same venue. I saw Bon Jovi in Birmingham. Where did I say I saw? Okay, so you were talking about Def Leppard. You saw him in Florida. I saw him in Birmingham. What did I say? Maybe when next to you in the mosh pit. I'd say I never did the mosh pit. Nope. New York. Oh, Val asked where everybody's from. Yeah, I'm Texas. I'm in Houston. So yeah, where it's warmish. To me, like we've talked about before, Val, I'm allergic to cold weather. I hate cold weather. So it's in the low 60s today, which is irritating to me. So yeah. Maryland's, I like all 4 seasons. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do something. Maybe I can get on Amazon and find some old school parachute pants. I am not growing a mullet. Maybe I can find some old school parachute pants and like a pastel green shirt or something for an episode. Maybe I'll get a mullet wig and put it on Rosie. Yeah, she'll kill me. Oh my God, the 80s. Oh, that was awesome. What have I got? Let's see what else. There was the movies. Oh, parachute pants. Oh yeah. I remember I had one pair of parachute pants. My parents never would, they weren't big on, oh, you don't need to spend money on fashion. You don't need to be fashion and, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I had the basic, jeans and stuff, but I got one pair of parachute pants. I want to say they were black. But yeah, I mean, back then everybody had the yellow and the green and the red and the this and that and the other. And they were almost like corduroys. You could hear people coming a mile away where those parachute pants rubbing together. We went down memory lane today. Yeah, we did. I can't remember how we got on the 80s, but I probably, knowing me, I probably drug us down this road. Oh my God, this was great. Oh, Val said we kind of forgot about those. Yeah, yeah. I think the world's tried to forget about those, Val. Yeah, there's some '80s fashions that I think everybody looks back on. I think there's probably some '80s fashions that everybody participated in, but they kind of think back and go, "Are there any pictures of me wearing that?" No, I never had any of those. Because I look back at there's things that get posted on Facebook of '80s and '80s memories and all that stuff, and I'll look and I'll go, "Oh my God, what were you thinking?" Oh, wait a minute, I had that shirt. Oh, what else I had? I had the big hair. Oh my God, I can remember. Here's one I can remember. Everybody's all, and this is sort of a bad thing, but how everybody had 4 cans of hairspray in their hair. At least the girls did, and their hair would be out to here. I can remember, and again, this was an '80s thing. Concerts were mostly general admission back then. So people would be standing outside the arenas waiting for hours to get in because first come first serve. If you're close to the door when they open up, you're going to be close to the stage. And I can remember I want to say it was Def Leppard. The waiting outside with my buddy, and there was this girl, these 2 girls got into an argument, and one of them held a lighter up to the other one's hair and just burned a big chunk of her hair off. And of course, there was a big fight, and we weren't even inside yet. But yeah, the big hair, the big hairspray, and the big flames. Yeah, it was bad. About big hair, big earrings, leather jacket, and gloves. Yep. Oh yeah. Ah, the '80s. Val's probably going, isn't this supposed to be a cat channel? Yeah, we don't normally venture down the '80s memory lane, Val, but normally it's focused on the little furball here, but she's kind of sleepy today. Normally we get her all hopped up on catnip and we play with her and all this stuff, but today she's kind of being lazy, so we're going to let her be lazy, and so we just decided to find something else to do. So I'm sort of hijacking Rosie's channel today for my own purposes, and so that's what we're doing. We're going back to the '80s. It's going to be like a Back to the Future kind of thing. We're trying to find a way to get me a DeLorean and a flux capacitor. We're going back to 1985. The Rosie's channel with the '80s on the side, yeah. Yes, I would play some '80s music, but except my camera is my phone. But also, I would probably end up getting dinged for copyright infringement if I played any '80s music. Just love hanging with the Rosie gang. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like it's the Rosie Army. So apparently there's no telling what's going to happen. Normally we play with the cat, but since she's being lazy today, then yeah. Maybe next week about what's that? Maybe next week we'll turn it into a cooking channel. Who knows? Val wants to know what a CH cat is. You want to take this, Marilyn, or do you want me to get it? Did you run out of cat? No, we gave her catnip, but normally because I put a little pile down on her blanket that we affectionately call the drug rug, because we give her drugs, her catnip. Normally I put it down and she kind of dives into it and gets all hopped up, and then we play with her. I play with her, and everybody gets a kick out of it. But I put it down today, and she's just being lazy. She's sleepy. So she kind of looked at it, she sniffed it, and then she just kind of laid down. So all right. So you want me to? Okay. So CH, Val, it's a condition. It's called cerebellar hypoplasia, and what it is most often, as a matter of fact, in almost all cases, then if a mother cat gets it's distemper and something else. I can't remember what the other one is. But if the mother cat gets distemper and then not Panluke, it's something else. But anyway, if she contracts one of those two while she's pregnant, then she can pass the virus on to the kittens in utero. And if that happens, then it can impact the development of the cerebellum. And depending on to what degree it impacts the cerebellum, and the cerebellum controls motor function, particularly fine motor control, then they're unsteady on their feet, they fall over, they tend to, they're called wobbly cats. Well, depending on to what degree the cerebellum is impacted, how much its growth is diminished, then they will be classified as generally mild, moderate, or severe. Mild, they'll just be a little shaky and whatnot. And then moderate, which I would say Rosie is more along the moderate side. Then as she walks, then she'll actually fall down. She'll do this. She'll do that. So there are certain precautions that have to be taken. Putting padding around particularly sharp corners of furniture and things like that, so if she falls against it, then it won't hurt her. Again, you can see where I put this down during the show, during the Rosie Show, so that if she, in the course of playing, if she falls off, then it gives a little extra padding. Because like when a cat normally walks, then they're very precise in their movements, where a CH cat, they may intend to put their foot here, but it may end up going out there because they can't quite control their muscle movements. But then if they're severe, like I've had severe CHs before, then they're almost, then they can get to the point where they can't even walk because they can't control their muscles enough to even get their legs underneath them. So that's what CH is. It is not progressive. It whatever level they're born at is what they will have for the entirety of their life, and they're complete. Other than falling down and being wobbly, then they are completely normal. They're not in pain. They don't suffer. It doesn't get worse, and they live absolutely normal lives just like any other cat, other than the fact that they fall down. So that in a nutshell is what CH is, and so that's what I have is I have her. I've had other CHs in the past, and they're just awesome little cats. So Jeanette says next week we won't have an episode. Isn't that right, or am I wrong, Scott? I'm gonna say correct. Because like I said before, my sister's coming in from out of town to visit, so. Like I said before, if she wants to participate in an episode, but we've kind of got so much, there's kind of so much that I want she and I to do while she's in town that I think that honestly we're probably just not even I'm not even going to have time, because there's a lot of places I want to take her, a lot of places I want to show her and things like that. So yeah. So next week I'm going to say that there's not going to be an episode, because like I said, I haven't seen her in a year and a half, and that was when I went back to Alabama to visit. But other than that, they've only come. She's only been here once, and that was back in 2014 when I got married to my now ex-wife. Her and my other sister came out for the wedding, but other than that, so she hasn't been out here to visit. What does Val say? Val says, thank you so much for explaining. So you're welcome, Val. I'm glad Rosie has you. I'm sure most people wouldn't have the patience. She's a lucky girl. Well, thank you very much. And that's one reason that I started the channel, was because unfortunately, that when me and my ex-wife, we were doing cat rescues, we actually found there were a lot of vets that may have had just a very cursory knowledge of CH, and they may have just had that from veterinarian school. So a lot of them didn't really know. There was not a lot of knowledge. There wasn't a huge knowledge base even amongst veterinarians with regard to CH. So unfortunately, when a shelter would get a hold of a CH or a vet, then a lot of times they would be mistaken for being in pain and suffering, and they're going to have a poor quality of life and blah, blah, blah. And then people generally don't want to adopt a CH if they find one in a shelter, because they don't know what it is. They don't know what its life is going to be like. So a lot of times they end up getting put down. And there's no difference between them and any other cat other than the fact that they fall over. Or may have trouble walking. If they're severe, I've seen some CHs that were severe, and they would have to be taken to the litter box and put in there, and then cleaned up afterwards, or maybe wear a little diaper. So there are accommodations that have to be made for them, but a lot of them get put down, and that was one of the reasons that I started the channel, was hopefully to bring, kind of educate people about CH, and hopefully spare some CH lives. But I certainly appreciate that. Marilyn says, what is her name? I'm assuming you're talking about my sister, so her name is Melanie. So I'm guessing that's what you were asking me, because, yeah. And then Ryan said, yes, she is. So, yeah. I say, she's a lucky girl. I'm a lucky guy to have her, because she's a super sweet cat, as a lot of CHs are. And of course, she is spoiled rotten. She absolutely, positively has me wrapped around her little paw. So, yeah. She pretty much gets her way whenever she wants. So, with the exception of wet food, because we learned that lesson a couple of weeks ago. I was giving her wet food at night as a treat, but then I think it started counteracting some of the anti-hairball stuff that's in her regular food, because right after I started giving her wet food as a treat, maybe maybe a month afterwards, then she started throwing up hairballs a lot more, where she never had before. And then I say she hasn't since she came off the wet food. She did throw up one not long ago, but yeah, since coming off the wet food, it's not been a regular thing. Scott loves Rosie for sure. Oh yeah, she's my baby. She's my baby. Val says, wish they all had such a wonderful home. Yeah, me too. Because I in a perfect world, it would be nice to have a place with, dozens or hundreds of acres and build outbuildings on it and just rescue every cat available. But that's not feasible. So, so I've got my Rosie, and then of course I have been adopted by a little feral cat that lives outside. So I've been adopted by her. But we love the ones that we can help, and we try to raise awareness so that other people can go out and spread that love. And not just CH cats. I mean, any cats. There's so many cats and dogs. I mean, any animals. There's a lot of animals that, because of age or disability or something, they get overlooked, they get ignored, they get taken, they get abandoned, they get. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's people just give them up, take them to a shelter, drop them off once they get old or once they get sick, and now they're gonna cost money, and they're gonna do this, and they're gonna, okay, well, you know. You know, we don't do that with people, and I can promise you, in a lot of cases, cats have much more, or animals have much more honorable intentions than some people. So yeah. Man, we've gone for over an hour and a half this time. We got on some 80s and it was just non-stop. What do you think, Rosie? I think Rosie's like, I don't know, let me sleep, dude. Just keep talking about your 80s. Keep talking about cats. Oh. But yeah, normally we involve Rosie. You know, that's what the channel is for. That's why I started it. But yeah, today she's being sleepy, being lazy, and of course we don't force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. So she wants to sleep, then let her sleep. My cat is with me always through thick. Yep, same here. Same with mine. As a matter of fact, Sasha, the little feral outside that has adopted me. I mean, I'm the only person around that can touch her. I mean, she still is, you know, has that feral to her that she won't let anybody else come near her. But with me, she literally follows me around. I mean, if I walk out to my truck, she usually waits on me outside the door, and she'll walk to my truck with me, and she'll walk back to the door. So I think it was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years. I think she picked me to be her person like 2.5 years ago, but it was the first winter that I had her. I got a kennel since she can't come in, but to keep her warm, I took a kennel and I took a pretty heavy drop cloth that I used to, that I use for my construction business, and I folded it over several times, and it's pretty thick, and I surrounded the kennel with it and strapped it down so the wind can't blow it off. I mean, it's heavy, it's not going anywhere anyway. But then I bought a cat bed, put in the kennel, and then stacked up piles of old clothes that I was going to donate in front of, so the door's open, but then I created a sort of a wind block with the old clothes, and I put a heating pad underneath the cat bed so that in cold weather she has a warm little home to go to. But to be honest with you, she only uses it when it gets extremely cold. I mean, it's up to her to get in it when she wants to. I mean, I'm not going to force her in it and everything, but like I said, in the wintertime, she puts on extra fat, her fur thickens up, and she just loves to sleep just right outside the door. If it's really, when it gets down like in the 20s, which it will generally get in the 20s here for a couple of days a year, maybe usually around February, we'll have 2 or 3 days where it'll get in the 20s. Other than that, it stays in the mid 30s or higher during the winter. But usually on those days where it's close to or below freezing, then she'll get in the kennel that I made for. But other than that, she's perfectly happy. She sleeps on my trailer that I use for work, or she sleeps on the ground, or she sleeps on the grill, on the marble part of the grill. So I mean, she just sleeps where she wants. But hey, that's her choice. But she's got it out there. I think I'm going to build her a new one this year. I'm going to build one from scratch that is insulated and everything. So we'll see. But yeah. Sasha feels your love. I hope so. It's funny. It depends. It's like the other. I think there's certain colors that she's scared of. Because the other day I was wearing a pair of red sweatpants. It's the first time I've worn any red pants. Red. I think I've got a couple of red shirts, but I was wearing a pair of red sweatpants. I went outside, and she looked, and her eyes got big, and she ran about 10 feet away. And I went to try to pet her, and she kept stepping away and looking. So I think the red, might be a little bit of a trigger color for her. Like a danger or something. So, but then I went out there like this, my jeans and green polo. And she's perfect, normal, rubs up against me. I'm like, okay, whatever. So Ryan says, animals know who loves them. Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, they know, they get and particularly outside cats, they are out, I keep saying cats because I'm a cat person, obviously, but outside animals kind of have a better sense of that because their senses are heightened because of potential dangers and having to evade predators and things like that. So yeah. Well, there we go. And it says, oh yes, I know. Cats are not. Yeah, no, cats aren't colorblind. I've heard both sides of the argument for dogs. That dogs are colorblind. Dogs aren't. Dogs are, dogs aren't. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Now my dog, he's not. He's just mostly blind. So, I mean, he's 17. So he's like today when I took him outside. Normally he follows me to where he goes. But today he just sort of took off running, and I'm hollering at him, and he's still just steady running because he can't hear nothing. He's about completely blind and just about deaf. So, I mean, I can literally walk up to him, and like when I take him outside, if I don't happen to walk into his field of view, then I usually have to go, tap him or something. Hey, come on, I don't know why I talk to him because he can't hear me. I have to let him know, let's go. So, but he's a 17-year-old dog, so I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. But he seems to, other than being blind and deaf, almost blind and almost deaf, he seems to be fairly healthy. So who knows? Oh my goodness. We've been going for almost an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to blame this on the 80s. That was awesome. All right. But I do need to go to the store. I need to go buy groceries. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it. I think we're going to wrap it up right here. Val, Val, thank you for stopping by. We got seven people. Wow. Okay. Who else we got? I think Val's still here. We got Ryan. We got Jeanette. We got Marilyn. We got Val. We got me. Well, whoever else is here, welcome to the Rosie Show. Is it kiss time? Yes, it's time for kisses. So I got it. So we're gonna give Rosie a kiss for everybody. We're gonna get one for Val as well. You ready for your kisses, Doodle? There's one for Marilyn, one for Ryan, one for Jeanette, one for Val, and one for me. Why'd you have to shake mine off? Really? Really, Brett? I had to shake mine off. That just hurts, man. She's such a brat. She kept everybody else's and then shook mine off. Rosie. All right. Well, I'm gonna. I don't know what happened to my voice there. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I have absolutely enjoyed. I have enjoyed yet again. I have enjoyed spending time with the Rosie Army. Taking a little trip down memory lane with the Rosie Army. So there we go. But like I said, be sure to hit the like button. Help me get the algorithm. Get in the algorithm a little bit more. I gotta start getting some more videos up, particularly some shorts. So yep, a lot to do. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. And as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it up for a few minutes. Let everybody say their toodles to everybody. Again, to everybody, I appreciate y'all coming, appreciate y'all being here. I have had an absolutely wonderful time yet again. Thank you for my little sanctuary away from the rest of the world. Get to spend time with Rosie and the Rosie Army. And what else? I think that's. So we will regroup in 2 weeks. Yes. I'm gonna, unless for some reason something happens that you get a notification that I'll be starting, because if I do one next week, then I'll do it, where I'll set it up to where it'll start, whatever, 45 minutes or an hour ahead of time, and you should get a notification. But again, I'm going to say that there's not, just because there's just so much on my plate for, while my sister's visiting. So, but yeah. So 2 weeks, we will be back. And like I said, I'm gonna leave it up so everybody can say their toodles to everybody. I hope everybody has a good, safe, happy, productive week. And, that's it. So just take care of yourselves, and I will see y'all in 2 weeks. So y'all have a good one. Toodles. Say toodles, doodle. Or not. She's a cat of few words. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Toodles.